Hello, my lovelies. For those of us that are following the news on the outbreak of Ebola in West Africa, if you're like me, then you're probably very afraid at this point. I am. And when I get to a place where I'm afraid, I resort to writing, because writing is therapy for me. So I did just that yesterday. I penned a poem simply entitled Ebola, You Ugly, Ugly Thing, Ebola. With Ebola, there's a 90% death rate. There is hardly any cure. So our part is to help spread awareness. And it is my hope, that just perhaps my poem will help to raise awareness, just one more person. Here we go. Ebola, you ugly, ugly thing, Ebola. Back then in the 70s, we started talking more about AIDS. We thought Lassa fever or dengue fever were our biggest medical warfare because no one knew then that the worst was yet to come. But hunger will force the poor to eat the meat that will lead to their demise. And so on July 27, 1976, you were birthed in Sudan after you took your first victim, and named after a river that runs through Zaire and Congo. You ugly, ugly thing, Ebola. Like the devil that you are, you start so slowly, up to 21 days for your symptoms to show. But once you're inside, you are out of control. Sudden onset of fever, headaches and sore throats, and muscle pain and nausea. Many even mistake you for malaria, but you are not malaria or just a bad fever. You are that ugly, ugly thing, Ebola. When once you are settled, you begin to meddle, non-stop diarrhea, vomiting, and impaired liver, and even kidney function. And the worst is the bleeding. God, the bleeding, internally and externally, as the brain cells of your victims are rotting, and their skin start burning, and everything start hurting, and their eyes start bleeding from you, you ugly, ugly thing. Ebola. You are merciless to your victims as you invade their poor bodies, attack the immune system. You still remain infectious even after your victims die. You are worse than AIDS. You are torturing a nation. You are killing our children, and we're all running scared because when you come to kill. You ugly, ugly thing, Ebola. West Africa, we hear your cries. My beloved Sierra Leone, I cry with you. We are scared, but we are strong. We will fight and we will win. We have lost way too many heroes. Those doctors and nurses and children that met you, those poor souls that bled and died from your virus. We will win this one for you. We will win this time, Ebola. This is not the apocalypse, and you are not in charge, Ebola. God is in control. And as a people together, we will fight and we will get rid of you, you ugly, ugly thing, Ebola. Go back to where you came from. You are not welcome here, Ebola. Go back. You ugly, ugly thing, Ebola.